Hello guys. Here is my teacher, Mr. David. Today I'm very happy to talking you guys about one very interesting part in my mind. It's called bias. And lots of people gonna say, what is bias in math? Well, actually, bias in our daily life is like you there have two different things, and you are like you like one part and you don't like another part. This is called bias. It's not fair. So it's what bias means in our daily life. So what bias means in math, and here it is. It's an imaginal in the difference between the experiential value and the true value of the parameter being best. What that means? That means in when you're doing your research or when you're doing your when you're doing some research, you have two different data, and the one you choose it was bias. So this is what bias means in our math. And there are lots of types of bias. And the first one is response bias, also called service bias. This is when technically of a person to answer questions on a survey, unfortunate or missed. For example, they may feel pressure to give an answer on social pitiable. So that means when you're doing your research, you go to the street and you like give the sheet to those people and let them do your research. This can make some bias, right? Like you didn't have enough types of the sheets. Like for example, in our math class, maybe our math teacher is gonna to ask how many people here loves mice, and they give us, yeah, I like it. It's the first one, and the second one is I love math, and the third one is math is good class. And so these three, they don't have enough style for us to choose all of those we can choose. It's bias. It only wants us to talking about, yes, we love math, right? So this is the first type of bias. And the second type of bias we're gonna to talking about, it's sampling bias. And somebody might ask, oh, oops, sorry about that. And somebody is gonna be asked, so what is sampling bias? Well, that means when the sample does not closely respect the population. So what that means? That means you are asking for a special group. For example, you go to one restaurant and it's only order for seafood, and you're asking people there, you ask them, hey, do you like seafood? So that's kind of bias, right? So this is for in our math we call it sampling bias. That means you are focusing on only one group. And another one example, like uh, in our school, Emerson High School, you're asking those art students, you're asking them, do you love arts? Yeah, so basically, this is you're focusing on a special group. So this is kind of bias. So we do our daily research. We need to like try to do this research on different groups so we can find the truly data we need. And the third one, the third bias is measurement bias. So what this means, this is closely to the sampling bias. But the difference is like the second one I gave one example is you ask you go to one seafood restaurant and you asking them do they enjoy their dinner, and for the measurement bias, it's more like more bias. For example, you go to one seafood restaurant and you see lots of people eating seafood there, and you only focus on those people they really looks happy and enjoying their dinner, and you ask them, do you love your dinner today, and do you love seafood? So this is what we call it measurement bias. You focus on one group and then you choose special people in that group. So this is what in our math we call it measurement bias. And the fourth bias we're gonna talking about is non-reasonable bias. So this is like it's very hard to give it one to give it one to say. So it's very different to give a meaning of non-reasonable bias. So I can make some example here. For example, you are in a group and there is one research. It's asked, do you enjoy your Tim Hortons coffee? And 9 of them, they said yes. But you don't like that coffee. You think you don't like coffee, this kind of drink. You only like soft drinks. But you see all of your people in your group, they choose yes, they love it. So you change your mind, you said yes, I enjoy the coffee for today. So this is called non-reasonable bias. It means you didn't actually show your opinion, you just follow others' opinion. This is a non-reasonable bias. And here is some example I want to show to you. The first example is talking about TV show. So basically, it's one TV show actor, and he did a research, and on the website, it shows that 98% of 200 people, they said they love this show. So what's the kind of bias is this in this example? And here is the answer. Asking for all those listeners on the online website. So only those people they love that TV show, they will do that research. So it didn't focus on all the people. You should do this research like telephone research or like email research. You should focus on all the people, even they didn't love TV show or they don't watch TV show. Everyone should join this actually. So this kind of so this is the sampling bias. And the second example here is and the second example is there is one teacher wants to know how people in her state feels like they agree with her opinion. So she called over 100 random cell phone numbers. Most of people didn't answer it until they have researched 100 respondents, and shows that only 46% of people, they said they really agree with her opinion. So what kind of bias in this situation? And here is the answer. The answer is the non-response is the most correcting cause of the bias in this service. So basically, you didn't actually ask all the people in your states in this situation. So how can we solve this problem? I think, in my opinion, I will randomly choose people in the route, and we ask them, because those people are we randomly chose and they have to give an answer. But when you're doing by email research or cell phone research, they don't care about it, and they won't give their feedback to us. So if we want to change this kind of situation, maybe we can go to street and asking for people's opinion. And this is my video for my very interesting part in the data course is biased. So this is actually changed my opinion about math. So in the past, I think math, they must get an answer and it must be correct. But after I learned bias, I actually found, oh, math will make some bias when we're doing our research or when we're doing our service. The data we collect, they sometimes will become biased. It will not always be correct. So, well, thanks for watching my video today and having a good day. Thanks.